Hey everybody, if you haven't already, before we get started with today's video, hit the thumbs up button on this video, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We're really trying to grow this channel. Even though the Habs aren't playing very well right now, we still want to get all the Montreal Canadiens community onto this YouTube channel. I think if we're looking at the theme for what the Montreal Canadiens did this week and all of their losses, the theme has to be with the kids and their development. We saw Cayden Primeau get the call up after Jake Allen was ruled out with a concussion, so that's a little unfortunate for Allen because he was playing well for the Montreal Canadiens. But Cayden Primeau did start 2 games for the Habs this week against the Rangers and the Penguins, and last night didn't go so well for Primeau and the Canadiens, but I don't really think that had anything to do with Primeau in that. There was maybe 1 or 2 of those goals in the 6-0 loss that he could have potentially had, but you're not going to blame Primeau in that situation. It was the Montreal Canadiens in front of him that just did not play a very good hockey game whatsoever. But the start against the Rangers, he was phenomenal in goal for the Habs in that game, and what I noticed was a very different Primeau than we noticed last year. He was more confident in his net. I don't know if there was something changed technically as a goalie for Primeau in the offseason, but he was more out in his crease, and I think that helped him stay calm and composed, and that was a big thing that I noticed for Primeau during his start. You can tell that there was more confidence in his game. He just didn't look confident last year when he did get those appearances for the Montreal Canadiens in the All-Canadian division, and I think it's something to build off of for Primeau now. He's likely going to have a spot with the Montreal Canadiens for as long as Carey Price continues to be out, because you have Jake Allen out as well right now. I think when Allen comes back, you're going to see Samuel Montembeault go on waivers so that Primeau can stay up with the big club as well. Now, we all know what happened in last night's game against the Pittsburgh Penguins, but one positive was that we got to see Mattias Norlinder make his NHL debut for the Montreal Canadiens, and I thought he played very well considering the circumstances. We know what the final score was of the game. Let's throw that out the window and just look at his individual play. This is the type of player that the Montreal Canadiens have been lacking for a very long time, and specifically what I noticed was when he was in the defensive zone, he was able to create that breakout pass. He didn't panic, and he put it tape to tape to start the breakout. It's something a lot of the Montreal Canadiens defenders can't do right now. We know that they're filled with defensive defensemen on this Habs blue line, and Norlinder really brings a fresh perspective. He was able to jump into the rush, and he looked confident in doing so, and I really think that Norlinder should continue to see a few more games at least before deciding whether to send him back to Sweden. I think this is the best case scenario for the Habs because Norlinder did not look out of place last night. Of course, he's going to have some defensive struggles along the way, but his offensive awareness and just his ability to move the puck is something this Montreal Canadiens blue line is severely lacking. So I hope that he continues to get that chance to showcase his skill set to this Montreal Canadiens brass. Caufield also made his return to the Montreal Canadiens lineup last night after having a short stint with the Laval Rocket, which he performed pretty well in. I just think that Caufield really has a bright future ahead of him. There's no reason to put all these high expectations on him just because of what we saw in the playoffs last year. Caufield is going to be just fine. You don't have to worry about ruining this type of player. We know what he brings to the table, and this Montreal Canadiens team just needs to let this player do what he does well, score goals, put pucks on net, and really bring that creative element to the table. And I think he did that really well last night, specifically in one shift against the Penguins. When it was 3-0 Pittsburgh in the second period, him and Mattias Norlinder really showed some creative flair in the offensive zone, and I really think that's a sign of things to come between these two players. When you have 2 skilled players on the ice like those two, you need to create those chances, and I thought they did a really good job doing that together last night. That's it for me today from Cook's Corner. If you haven't already, like I said at the start of the video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to this channel, hit the notifications bell, and comment down below what you thought of the last week for the Montreal Canadiens and where you think the development of these young kids is heading. I'm Zach Cook. We'll see you later.